morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is October the 21st, 2023, and today the topic is what you want versus what you need. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, everyone. I hope you had a fabulous Friday. Mine was just fine. Yep. Mine was just fine overall. Quick recap was that the main thing I did yesterday, aside to spend some quality time with my family, was I also filmed an episode of the GFL talk show. And after that, just kind of was doing my thing, behind the scenes and everything like that. Shout out to my dream team. Elizabeth is helping me with some things and whatnot as well behind the scenes. So a lot of stuff like that going on. And then anything else of significance to share? I mean, well, we know the talk show came out last night. If you guys missed it, all you got to do is go to guysexandlove.com. It should be our featured video. You can learn more about Miss Krista Mellison and her testimony and things like that. Thank you to those who already watched it and whatnot. And I mean, I got more stuff to tell y'all, but I mean, let's go ahead and get into this juice, because technically your girl is recording around the time I need to actually be getting ready. Because there's a couple of tasks for today, just a couple. So yeah, let me go ahead and tell y'all what's going on with this juice. So this morning, woke up at the time of my alarm. All of that stuff was regular. I didn't end up looking anything up to times or anything like that. I listened to the prayer meditation with the Soul Space app. That was good. It basically talked to me about speaking life and things of that nature, which, I try to do now. I speak life and everything like that. So that was a good thing to reflect on this morning. And then, and after I listened to the prayer meditation, I just go on social media. And as soon as I did, I went I saw, like, the thing I saw when I got on, I think it was Facebook, was a post by Miss Pinky Cole. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her or whatever, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, because I haven't followed her story or enough to tell you all the details, but a little bit that I have gleaned to know is that she's the owner of this vegan restaurant called Slutty Vegan. I haven't been there yet. I hear great things, all this type of stuff. I mean, obviously she kind of blew up and started from a food truck to opening several restaurants and being very successful. I know even about a year or so ago, she gave away, I don't know, not business loan. She gave away like LLCs to a group of graduates. So Pinky Cole, y'all might know her and everything like that. But anyway, I saw a post by her, and obviously it seemed like she was advertising a book or something like that. But I just happened to read like her caption of what she was sharing, and basically she was sharing, I guess, how her business went viral, and technically how she had been fired from a previous position, and in that very same day got the opportunity that led her to go viral and her, like, the kickstart for her business to be where it is today. And thinking about that ultimately led me to this conversation of what you want versus what you need. Apparently her book is called I Hope You Fail. So you guys look into that if you feel led to do so, and things like that. And I get it I haven't read it or anything like that, but just by the title and reading what her testimony was, what she shared in her testimony, I get it. You know what I mean? Look, I hope you fail too. Because we all have these ideas of like what we want. Like, my husband was one of them people. He's planning to the T right now. Listen, I done learned my lesson about that. I let God plan at this point in my life, but it took me a while to get there too. You know what I mean? And I tell you guys all the time, like, my journey and how that happened. So for those that listen to me frequently, I'm sorry. But I still hope that it encourages you and inspires you to hear, I guess, my testimony and things of that nature, because I mean, again, like, when we get in our hearts and minds stuff sometimes, what has just come to me now is that our attempt to put God in a box holds us back and holds us stagnant. When God want to do things his way. And so it behooves us, it's a better thing for us to do, to trust his will, trust his way, and watch things grow and flourish. Listen, I'm a living testimony of this, y'all. Actually, I was just talking to my husband about this yesterday, and not knowing that it was going to be part of today's juice, but here it is. Basically, I was sharing with him, I was like, sometimes I still wonder about like doing like more things. Yeah, sure, there's things I want to do, to-do list, goals, I got stuff like that. But what I'm saying is like in this season, it's like something in me has really been like, man, I need to establish something that's going to just grow and flow. And right now, I'm grateful. Don't get me wrong. I'm totally grateful for the job that God has given me here. I'm super grateful for everything that he's established since 2019, and you guys have seen the documentation of it because of everything that has happened and whatnot. Like I got a full documentation for the most part of like what my journey has been like behind the scenes since 2019. So that before the pandemic, I was already transitioning into, I guess, what y'all see today. So but I was reminding my husband, I was looking at my website, and listen, I know y'all probably like, you just out here plugging, but I'm sharing my testimony. If y'all happen to go to the website and support, cool, but I'm just trying to share with y'all what the Lord has done. So my website, addressmiraclecenters.com, is a beautiful example of what the Lord has done in the past 3 to 4 years. 2020, I tell y'all this all the time, the only thing I had business-wise was Miracle Plays and the wine business, Miracle of Wine. Both of those were the only 2 things that was established. And if you guys go to addressmiraclecenters.com, you'll see a whole list of stuff when it comes to me and my endeavors. All I would say is these are examples of things that was in me over the years, things that I had, wanted to do and was working towards doing. And y'all just know, I just literally my first produced movie, and again, I got several ideas in my heart and mind, but I just finally produced my first movie this year, and I told y'all that was an 11-year journey. I wrote it 11 years ago. Like that, that's over a decade. And everything like that, and just saw it come to fruition this year. So y'all can look, they ain't gotta click up all the little different sites. Y'all just go to addressmiraclecenters.com and look at that list, and that represents things that have been established within the last, again, less than 5 years. And so I guess I'm sharing all these things to say, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of things like this in my life that, again, proves this point of like what you want versus what you need. Ironically, I felt led to share this with y'all today, so here it is. Ironically, today is technically my ex's birthday. Him and his friend, they both share the same birthday. So happy birthday to both of them. I hope that God is blessing them. I hope they are well. Anyway, and the ironic thing is today, October 21st, what I mean, is also represents the day that my now husband first asked me to be his girlfriend. And I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I can't accept on this day because it's just weird. And that, I guess that would always be a tell for me and him. But I guess I am sharing it with y'all on the juice today. My ex, and I would like, and I've shared this with y'all all the time as well, but here it is again. I think my ex was everything I wanted in a guy back in the day. Like, he had a lot of great qualities. I found him attractive, and, I felt like he was very talented and things of that nature. So at that time, he was everything I wanted, right? In a guy. Now, did he turn out to be everything I needed? No, indeed. No, indeed. My husband is everything I needed in a man. And I saw that clearly when I met my husband, and things of that nature. So again, what you want versus what you need. Like, I'm here to remind us today, man, that at the end of the day, listen, God has a better plan for you and your life than you could ever make. And y'all might think I'm crazy, but I'm just trying what has happened to me. You know what I mean? The more I lean and depend on the Lord, the more I give those things over to him. That's why y'all see the fruits y'all seeing today. I'm no better than nobody else. I'm human, just like everybody else. And so I mean, there's plenty of things to be said. I could give y'all plenty of testimonies. Was there another testimony about this Lord that I was supposed to share? Which one, which verse, which need? It might come back to me. I might share it in a minute. Let's get into some Bible, because y'all might think I'm just out here talking. So here's some Bible verses that was standing out to me this morning. Philippians 4:19. It says, "And my God will supply every need of yours according to his riches in glory in Christ Jesus." I just don't believe that we believe this as humans. I just don't believe that we believe it. Now, I think I'm getting better about believing this, but I'm honest with you guys, that it took a while to believe this. But the more that I do believe it, the more y'all see happen. And y'all, again, go to actressmiraclesims.com and see how many endeavors is there now. And I'm telling you, back in 2019, there was only 2 established. Everything else, the Lord has blessed and provided and done. And and yeah, I did my part now. I did my little, whatever the work was that I had to do to get things done, of course. But what I'm saying is the Lord has established it at the end of the day. Matter of fact, that reminds me of the other thing that I was about to tell y'all. What I was just asking the Lord, was there anything else I was supposed to say? This is what it is. Again, what got me on this path years ago, because again, let's talk about the cultivation period. Let's talk about what was it, 20? I can't remember when Pastor Sammy quoted, but shout out to God's House Orlando. And shout out to Pastor Sammy for being obedient and saying these words, because that changed my life. Basically, during the cultivation period, I went to church and Pastor Sammy preached a sermon. And what he said in that something, the quote that stood out to me and has stood out with me for 10 years later, the rest of my life, is if you make God's wants what you want, you're going to get what you want. If I make God's wants my wants, then I'm going to get what I want. And at that point, when I heard that message, I was crazy enough to ask the Lord what he wanted. I was like, okay, then, well, what is it that you want? Because again, y'all can read my book all about it. But if I tell y'all in a little nutshell, basically at that time, I felt like I had everything except love and marriage, right? And what else? Oh, and my career. I felt like my career wasn't where I wanted it to be. And things of that nature as well at that time. But outside of that, I was living on my own, had my own place, getting weekly check from Disney, doing my thing. And then, even though that was at the point, was like, okay, that's kind of, I don't see growth here, but at the same time, I can do my thing outside of Disney. So I'm doing my thing as a single lady back then, right? Again, I look back now and was like, man, I should probably traveled a little bit more. Maybe I should have invested and started some of these endeavors that I'm doing now back then. I think I was on the beginning stage of finally renewing my mind in that area to take some ownership and, and become an entrepreneur and things of that nature. Those things were budding at that time. But I think back on some of those things and be like, man, what if I had established some stuff back then? Like, where would I be today? But hey, I am grateful for where I'm at today. So I'm not sure. No regrets. But yeah, man, shout out to Pastor Sammy. And I would say, again, I'm a living believer and I'm a living witness that this has played out in my life. Again, when I made the things that God wants, my wants, here I am with everything I wanted. And I'm not no better than you. So I'm just trying to remind us today, look, what you want versus what you need. Ask yourself them questions. Like, the other thing that I've tried to share with people as well about this journey is that I had to start being honest with myself about what it was I wanted. Because the thing was, like, again, as a performer and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, yes, I want to perform and da da da. And yeah, don't get me wrong, I do love performing, and that is what I do and wanted to do. However, I started to be honest with myself about, like, okay, once I become a performer, like what is that I wanted? And I'm like, okay, I wanted to direct, I wanted to produce, I wanted to, an author. I wanted to, start being honest with myself about the things I truly desire. And then that's what again ultimately shifted me as well when it came to my thinking about, I guess career and all that different type of stuff. Because I again, sometimes again, you get in your mind that things got to happen a certain way, and it got to be the dominoes got to be lined up this exact way, and God to come in and knock it all down and say, no, it don't, And so get on His team, right? Allow Him to lead and guide you in your life because it's beautiful on this side. That's all I can sit here and say. Let me keep on going and give y'all these verses because I got to get ready to go. So here we go. Malachi 3:10. It says, bring the full tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house, and thereby put me to the test, says the Lord of hosts, if I will not open the windows of heaven for you and pour down for you a blessing until there is no more need. Listen, y'all don't like this verse. I don't mind this verse. I'm reminded of my childhood. Shout out to my mama. She likes to tell a story about when she had her daycare, and she had me and my cousins and all that in the daycare. And when she shared this verse with them, she said that my cousins say, no, it's supposed to be bring the storehouse, bring our tithe into Miss Evelyn's house, so they could be in Miss Evelyn's house. Nah, man. I mean, trusting the Lord. To me, this is what all this means. Trusting the Lord with your income, right? Trusting the Lord with just every aspect of your life. And again, last year around this time, the Lord was giving me the foresight, I guess, to know that, listen, you need to become a better steward of money. And I said, okay, Lord, well, let me go ahead and get this financial fitness at the church. Let me go ahead and get prepared to become a better steward with money. I don't know why the Lord's putting this in my heart and mind, but let me become a better steward with money. And one of the things that I gleaned from being in financial fitness and was reminded of is this concept again of tithing and things like that. I know y'all like, oh Lord, he's talking about money. Listen, trust God with everything in your life, including your money. Okay. Because again, the more that I've been intentional about like go ahead and take it out soon as something come in. I don't care if it's $10. I sold a book for $10. I'll take the 10 out, 10%. Go ahead and put that to the side for tithes. Yeah, the more intentional I've been about that, the more I don't feel like I'm in lack. This whole year, I told y'all it's abundance 2023. I just called it that at the beginning of the year. I didn't know that I was going to get the job. I didn't know any of the other stuff that the Lord has established this year was going to happen. But here I am, living testimony, y'all. So there you go. I mean, trust him. And this is one way you can test him. He says test him. He literally says to test him. So anyway, and look, speaking of financial fitness, look, one of my homegirls from the church that tuned in this morning. Good morning, Miss Herman. She says, listen, I received the same word this morning before watching this. Listen, I'm finna go. Don't make me fall out, Herman. Look, confirmation for you, sister. Whatever part of it, confirmation for you. Trust the Lord with every aspect of your life, including your finances. If you want to see overflow happening in your life, then trust him with the finances and things of that nature. It say here, let's just talk about this last part. It says, pour down for you a blessing until there is no more need. I like that. I know people, sometimes you hear this verse and there's like no more room to receive or something like that. I like that verse says no more need. Something about that is standing out to me right now. This is what the Lord would do if we trust him, y'all. And I'm a living witness, man. I'm telling you, all year. This time last year, I felt like I was kind of struggling, like, oh, I feel like I don't have. I feel like I there's so many things I want to do and I'm not able to do it because I don't have, And I have not felt that this year. Now, listen, I don't know if it's a combination of all the things, but what I'm saying to y'all is the only thing that changed between last year and this year is the being intentional about finances, being intentional about whenever something comes in, making sure I know this is where it's going, this is what I'm doing with it, X, Y, and Z. And then ultimately trusting the Lord to provide. That's the other thing too. I mean, and I told y'all just the other day, I was thinking about adding on something else to that long list y'all saw on actressmiraclecenters.com. I was thinking about adding some more things to it. Just because, again, I want to, make sure I'm being helpful to my husband in the midst of his transitions and all this different type of stuff, And so, I'm like, well, technically Monday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday is still kind of open for me. So maybe I can, add something else in there and stuff. And I don't know if that's a goal for me or not. Still seeking the Lord about what I should do things. But what I'm saying is, regardless of that, I'm trusting the Lord to provide, not me and not any of the endeavors that has been established, none of that stuff. I'm trusting the Lord to provide at the end of the day. And he has been doing it. I'll just leave it there. So then Colossians 3:2, it says, set minds on things above, not on things that are on earth. Listen, again, I know I may sound crazy to people that I guess don't believe or whatever the case may be. But again, I'm a living testimony, y'all, that at the end of the day, I am just one human. I'm no more special than you. You could do the things I'm doing and probably see greater fruit and everything like that. So again, I hope you're encouraged and inspired to lean and depend on the Lord and accept what you need versus worrying and dwelling on the things you think you want. Because God can do above and beyond our I guess greatest desires. And I guess that's the juice this morning, y'all. That's the juice. Now the Bible verse of today is Proverbs 17:17. It says, a friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Friend, hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all on Monday, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. There you go. Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, anybody listening to the sound of my voice, I hope that you all are encouraged and inspired. Thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribing, and sharing all those wonderful things. If that's still my sister, Miss Hermelin, listen. I know I got to go get ready and everything. I'm going to the church. You're going to that business situation at the church. I'm going to actually be helping out at the child care, but I'll be there if you're going to be there. Little business lady, you might as well be there. Look, calling you out, sis. I'm sorry. I'd love to hear like what the Lord shared with you this morning, and how it coincided with what the Lord gave me. But no pressure. If you want, if it's too deep, we can talk about it later. But yeah, if you by all means, let me know what you got going on. So yeah, as for me, yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do today. I'm supposed to go and help out at the church. Y'all know. Mountain West and everything like that. And then I think I'm gonna take the little guy shopping. One of my friends gave him $15. He's like, TT Lolo gave me some dollars. So I'm gonna take him to good old Dollar Tree and see what he gets into. I did this with him when he was like 2 or 3, and it went well, but it didn't go well. At that time, we was looking for a Father's Day gift for him, and I was filming him while he just walked around Dollar Tree and tried to. And the only thing he came out with was like gumballs, and that's what he gave his dad for Father's Day. So this is gonna be exciting, I guess, to take him in there and say, okay, you got $15 and see what he gonna do. So that's what I intend to do after church, or after I go help out at the church or whatever, and then that's it for today. At least that's what I got planned. We're gonna see what else the Lord do, but yeah. Look, Miss Hermelin says she will be at the meeting. So look, I guess I'll be talking to you then. All right. Say, okay, we can talk tomorrow at church. Sounds good. All right, girl. Well, I hope that you're encouraged and inspired by the things that God has shared with both of us. And man, thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribing, and sharing, y'all. Look like Mr. Marvin Vance is tuned in. So good morning, Marvin. I talk about you often as well. I know I do I call your name sometimes? Basically, I talk about you when I talk about the cast. I finally filmed the cast, Marvin. Have you seen that? I finally filmed that movie I did from, well, it wasn't a movie then. It was just it was what's it called? Web series is what it was. But me and Kelvin just took on the project. We filmed it, and I talk about you often when I refer to that testimony, because you were the only one outside of Kelvin and my ex, whose birthday it is today. But my ex was the only one that showed up at that meeting. I know you probably remember that meeting that I had. Yeah, you, Kelvin, my ex, and me was the only one at that meeting for the cast movie. That's now for the project that is now the cast movie. So I talk about you often when I share that testimony. I'm like, there was only 4 people that showed up, and I appreciate you for showing up at that time and believing in me and that idea. I haven't forgot about you, and prayerfully I'll be working on some stuff soon. That you could be, more things, so prayerfully you can be a part of and stuff like that. But yeah, check it out then. He says he hasn't seen it, so yeah, thecastmovie.com, bro. Check us out. You should at least be able to see the trailer and whatnot. Shout out to Tivit TV. That's who has distributed us this far. We're still looking to try to get distribution elsewhere as well, but we are grateful for the distribution we have. So Tivit TV, thank you. But all right, y'all, I need to go get ready because I'm going over there to the church. Hermelin, hey, if you be there, it's cool. I see you, sis. Or maybe, if not, I see you tomorrow. Yours will. And yeah, y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to talking to y'all on Monday. Bye.